Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ziyan Aulia Faza and I'm from Class C, and today I will be discussing the topic of weird fashion trends throughout history. These are unusual and sometimes dangerous fashion trends from different time periods. I'm interested in this topic because fashion is an important part of human history and it's fascinating to see how beauty standards and trends have changed over the centuries. From the listening activities I've done on this topic, I've learned a lot about how fashion trends throughout history were influenced by both cultural value and social norms. For example, I learned about the hobble skirt, a fashion trend from the early 20th century. This skirt was designed to be very tight around the ankle and making it difficult for women to walk. The purpose of this trend was to create an elegant and slim silhouette, but it came at the cost of mobility. Another trend that I come across was the K2224018 shoes from the 15th century. The shoes had outrageously long, pointed toes which could extend several feet. The longer the point, the wealthier the person was perceived to be. I was surprised to learn that something so impractical could become a symbol of status and wealth. The ruffle collar, popular in the 16th and 17th centuries, was another trend that I found interesting. These collars were large and often made of stiff fabric, which made them uncomfortable and difficult to wear. Despite the discomfort, they were worn by upper classes as a symbol of refinement and wealth. Next, when it comes to the crinoline, a voluminous skirt that worn in the Victorian era, I discovered that although it was designed to create an elegant silhouette, it has its danger. The wide structured skirt could easily catch on fire and was impractical for everyday activities. And then one of the most shocking trends I learned about was foot binding in ancient China. Women's feet were tightly bound to keep them small, which was considered a mark of beauty. Small feet were a symbol of femininity and grace in ancient China. Finally, the corset is one of the most misunderstood fashion items in history. While it's often seen as an oppressive garment, it wasn't as painful as it often portrayed. In its earlier form, corset was worn for support and help with posture. However, during the Victorian era, corsets were tightly laced to create an exaggerated hourglass figure. This extreme tight lacing could cause health issues such as restricted breathing and internal organ displacement. Through listening to content about this historical fashion trend, I've expanded my vocabulary related to fashion, such as terms like crinoline, humble skirt, and macaroni style. I've also become more familiar with how to pronounce certain historical terms correctly. I learned that many of these strange fashion trends were deeply tied to social status and cultural expectation. Some of the trends also reveal how beauty standards were often dangerous and sometimes even harmful to people's health. One challenge I faced while listening to the content on this topic was to understanding some of the historical reference and vocabulary which were unfamiliar to me. But to overcome this, I made sure to look up any unfamiliar words or phrases and take notes on key points. In my opinion, exploring these weird fashion trends throughout history has been a fascinating journey into the past. I hope this topic inspires you to think more critically about the trends we follow today and to appreciate how fashion has evolved over time. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.